Despite its prominence in other forms of pop culture, the Vietnam War hasn't seen nearly as much gaming representation as other major armed conflicts.
Nah, baby.
But today on Game Rant, we'll be shining a light on some of the few games that are based in the Vietnam War. First up is Battlefield Vietnam, releasing in 2004. As the successor to the widely popular Battlefield 1942, based off the Second World War, Battlefield Vietnam aimed to deliver the same large-scale battles, but now lifted into the Vietnam War. The game features a large number of era-appropriate weapons and vehicles, even featuring maps inspired by real-life places and events, such as Ho Chi Minh Trail and the Fall of Saigon. While not the most well-known in the immensely popular Battlefield franchise, this game did help cement the series as a titan of the FPS genre. And another titan of FPS, Call of Duty, has also featured the conflict not once, but twice. First in 2010 with the original Black Ops. While the setting of the game actually spans multiple years and takes the player all over the globe, just about a third of the game's runtime does take place in Vietnam, circa 1968. In addition, there are several multiplayer maps set in Vietnam, namely Cracked, Hanoi, and Jungle. Fast forward over a decade though, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War would be the second game to feature Vietnam. Although admittedly a lot less prominent than its predecessor, the two single-player levels set there are some of the most significant in the game to the story, including a trippy sequence toward the end, where you play through a character's faulty memory of the war, where your actions impact how the rest of the level progresses in front of you. Now let's take a look at Far Cry 5 Hours of Darkness. In this DLC, Far Cry is distilled into its most basic elements, cutting down on its intricate story and characters and replacing it with a tight and frenetic gameplay loop. The player is tasked with saving their fellow POWs scattered around the valley before they can leave. It doesn't say much about the war itself, but it's still a pretty fun experience. Released in 2003 alongside a slew of World War II-based games was Vietcong, a breath of fresh air for many at the time. And while the game is certainly dated by today's standards, it was nonetheless a creative idea, offering a unique flavor of squad-type missions set in the Vietnamese jungle circa 1967. Arma 3 has had many DLCs and expansions over the years, and among them is SOG Prairie Fire, focused entirely on the Vietnam War. What's extra special is that the expansion was actually developed in collaboration with Vietnam vets on both sides of the conflict, helping the devs achieve the ultra-realism that Arma strives for. And that's it for our list. Thank you so much for watching, and go to GameRant.com for more like this.